52 Traders, episode 126.
It's about the effort you put in and the evolution of yourself as a trading being.
Join Cam every week on the 52 Traders podcast or at 52traders.com to learn how to trade like the pros. This podcast is for educational and entertainment purposes only and is not investment, trading, or financial advice of any kind.
What's up, traders? Welcome to another installment of the 52 Traders podcast. I'm your host, Cam Hawkins, and today we've got a little bit of a celebrity on the show here, a celebrity trader, and also, I suppose, a wee bit of a celebrity in his own right. We have Scott Redler, who you may have seen on the likes of CNBC, where he's a regular analyst on there and giving people some technical analysis, insights into the stock market, into the futures market, and even into the likes of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. So this guy's got a wealth of knowledge. He's been trading since 1999 and co-founded an outfit called T3 Live in 2007. He's also does a whole bunch of stuff for charities into like endurance, elite endurance sports. So he's done like over 50 triathlons and marathons, and he's also featured on some documentaries as well for the BBC and China's CCTV. So this guy knows his stuff, all right? So we're going to have him on the show in a second. But before we do, I just want to talk a little bit about stuff that I've been, learning over the last week. Last week, I had a bit of a major, I suppose, revelation around my trading, and things started going in the right direction. But you know what happens? Things sort of ebb and flow, and you've got to take the good with the bad. And I'm not saying things are bad, but I have derailed myself somewhat by, I suppose, as we know in the business, it's known as strategy hopping. Okay, so I keep getting all this information given to me, and it seems the next thing and the next thing and the next thing are the sort of things that are going to do it. And I mean, I went really well on Monday. I had a great trading day on Monday, and then on Tuesday, market opened, and I'd been given, I suppose, insight into a new way to look at taking, unreal trades, holy grail sort of trades, mythical holy grail trades, but without the information, all the information that I needed. It was just enough information for me to go, hey, I'm gonna dive into this straight away, and I did. And the lesson there, guys, is it doesn't, you've got to try this, you've got to test this stuff out first. You've got to test it out. You've got to put it through a filter before you actually add it to anything you're going to do. Okay, and I just dove straight in. I didn't test it out, and Bob's your uncle. There we go. What do you know? I lose something like 7 trades on the trot using this new method that I didn't really know. I decided to stop doing it after the 7th trade, and then I sort of moved back to what I was doing before, but I was feeling very dejected. And then I won something like 7 out of 8 trades. So what does that tell me? It tells me what I was doing is correct, and I just got sidetracked. Okay, so guys, if you're getting sidetracked with strategy hopping, seeing the next sort of shiny object that you're diving in on, then don't do it. Don't do it. My recommendation is not to do it. Just what are you jumping in on next? Who are you, deciding that I'm, now going to, what tool are you going to need to go and buy and get? You don't need any of that stuff. You've got it all there right in front of you, guys. If you've been going through these episodes, or if you are mentoring yourself, then you've got it all there in front of you. Just on the mentoring, this was reflected once again by my mentor, Andre. Just this morning, I was watching a video he's put up on the drive. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the first part of that video and chuck it up on his page. And if you want to check that out, where he talks about the strategy hopping and that sort of stuff, and a lot of the psychology in the market and a couple of big, massive myths, then dive on there, check it out. It's about 5 minutes or so it goes on for. And he does a better job than me. I've got to give him that. He does a better job of me of explaining it, because he's been there and done that, and he sort of can see where people are going wrong. So jump on there. It's 52traders.com/Andre. and or jump on the site and you'll find a link to his mentoring there as well. And just while you're there, the price is going to jump up in about a week's time, and it's going to jump further because there's only so many people he can take on a one-on-one basis, and the community is growing, and it's growing very strong. We've actually got another mentor who is basically helping people out at the moment, but that stuff's going to be finalized soon as well. So guys, keep an eye out for that, or an ear out for that on the podcast and also on the site. So guys, you've got a week. Jump on there if you want to get this amazing deal. $450 it is for unlimited mentoring from a guy who's actually making a living, does this full time, makes a living out of it, and can teach you an awful lot about understanding price action. Then you know where to go, 52traders/Andre, or jump on the site and you'll find it somewhere. Now, without further ado, let's hear from Scott Redler of T3 Live. Right, guys, so we've got Scott Redler here. So CNBC personality. Scott, how's things over there in the States? Where exactly are you today?
I am in the NYC mother office of T3. Sometimes I'm in Short Hills. Sometimes I'm in some other branches. We have a bunch of them around the country. But today I am sitting in NYC after a nice long holiday, and the action is very interesting today.
And what did you get up to in your holidays?
My parents came in from Florida, so I got to spend some time with my dad and my mom. They wanted to come see my son, who's 9. So it was a great weekend. They got to watch him play a little basketball, watch him play a little lax, and it was just quality family time, which is what I try and advocate on any kind of holiday. If you can't do it, you have to do it. It's what life's all about, right? Spending times with family and friends, and then you have to feed the brain and get mentally strong for when the markets get open, so you could execute on your game plan.
Yeah, so true. I mean, I spent quite a bit of family time over the holidays myself. We had guys flying in from the UK, and friends of ours came over we actually went over to see my brother in Brisbane, and it was a big family event and friends, and you do get the odd little bit of conflict in there. We were together for 3 weeks, so there were times when nobody was talking to each other.
3 weeks is a long time.
Yeah, it is. There were times when nobody was talking to anyone, so quite funny. But anyway, the pinnacle was when we had dinner at a restaurant, and literally 3 words were spoken around that table.
That's when it's time to go. That's when you're like, all right, guys, we're done here.
Yeah. It got a little bit tight there. Okay, so we had to talk
or you have to order more beverages. Yeah. What's the beverage of choice when you're with the family?
Yeah, exactly. I had a throat infection, so I couldn't drink anything, and I could barely eat. So I wasn't talking anyway. So it was just one of those things. But hey, look, so let's get onto your background. So what first attracted you to trading, and tell us a bit about you. You told us a bit about you personally, but what first attracted you to trading, and how did you get into trading?
Well, I started trading in 1998. And, I graduated from the university in 1996. And at first I was a bit of a venture capitalist. Venture capitalist. It means I, raised money for some companies, and I did some actual promotions because that's what I did when I was younger. When I was in high school and college, I used to promote clubs and major events. That's how I paid my way through university. So I was on the venture capital side thereafter, trying to grow up a little bit and do bigger events until all of a sudden I did I don't know if you know who R. Kelly is before all the craziness. He had a big concert tour with 5 or 6 different artists, Nas, Kelly Price, Foxy Brown, Busta Rhymes. So raised quite a bit of money for that tour that did not go well. And one of my major investors was a trader at Broadway Trading, one of the first momentum trading firms out there. And he had a big group of like 200 guys. So, when that situation didn't work, he's like, okay, I understand why. I'm a big boy. Come work in trading with me. You won't have to sell anything, and you can make as much money as you push the keys in. However, you're right. I'll trade you. I'll train you, and to make a long story short, within a year I was pretty well trained. Within 2 years I was one of his managers, and within 3 years I was an equity partner, and then we've been equity partners since, and we've obviously changed companies, merged, did a lot of things, but basically one of the founding fathers lost money with me and said, okay, you could help me make it back by coming to work. And then it turned into a massive career.
Wow, what a story. So Kelly to trading, who would have thought, eh? So what's Kelly doing these days anyway? I know his hit song way back in the day because it was quite popular. Was it like something about flying, wasn't it?
Said, I Believe I Could Fly. He came out with a movie, Space Jam, with Michael Jordan. So I believed at that time was a good trade, raising money, going out on 40 dates around the country as a 24, 25-year-old gentleman. I figured I was a little ahead of myself, and if it worked, I could have made a big name. But just like trading, you went from trade performance to trade management, so I had to get rid of that trade and trade careers, which wound up being the best thing that ever happened to me.
And so you had mentorship from this guy who was running, was it Broadway Trading? And well, I mean, what sort of stuff did he go through with you when he was training you up? I mean, how can you talk us through maybe a typical week of what your training involved? Right, folks, hope you enjoyed that quick little preview of the Scott Redler interview. Now, if you do want to hear the full interview and really get into the nuts and bolts of stuff that Scott isn't talking about on CNBC, stuff that he doesn't get a chance to talk about, I ask him the tough questions to delve into how he actually trades the markets, giving you guys a real rich insight into what his day looks like, and a whole bunch of other stuff, okay? So it's only $5 to come on board. Give it a try. You get access to the full library of interviews when you do come on board. So guys, jump on 52traders.com/pro and you'll get immediate access to not just this interview in full, but over 100 other traders that I've interviewed, their full interviews as well. There's a wealth of knowledge in there, guys. Okay, so see you there at 52traders.com/pro as a pro member and in the pro members area. Until next week, I wish all you guys a great trading week.